This is another episode where we'll be discussing about how you can start a startup and some of the points that has been discussed in one of the very interesting book called 0 to 1. So some points that will help you in deciding whether to start a startup or not, and if you decide, how you can move forward. The first point uh, everyone need to consider is why you want to start a startup. It is not a like another shop where you can start your business and get your revenue or get some profits. It is something very new to the ecosystem, so there is a very good chance that people may not accept the product or the service you are trying to bring into the market. But there is also the possibility that the product or service can be an extraordinary success and maybe the whole world adopts that. And the examples are many actually, like your Google, Facebook, all the social media accounts, YouTube, all these things are the examples of starting something new and becoming a global success in a long run. And when someone starts the business, there are few things in the mind. One is like do something what you like, or bring something to the world what you think is better for like making this world a better place to live. And you have genuine interest, knowledge, and you have a very good team to work on your vision to make it happen. And finally, like you want to be your own boss, like you be the owner of the business and the director and the CEO and everything. Yeah. And you run the business on your own terms. And the other point many people consider for starting a business is like having the flexibility. It is startups are run by your passion, not by compulsion. Like you have to come to office at certain time and follow a daily routine, or you have SOPs, have rules and those things. And the last point, which most people think is making a lot of money, which is not actually the case. Very few companies they make money, but if they stay in the business for a very long time, but that doesn't happen within a year or two. It may take a decade or so. For any successful company nowadays, you see in internet or around your surrounding, they have taken decades or more to get any sort of profit and expanding to this scale of what you see today. So it doesn't happen in months or years. It takes definitely a decade to be successful and get a profit out of it. And if you succeed having the company for a decade, then there is no looking back. But that 5 to 10 years is very crucial, and the startup need to sustain at any cost if they want to be successful. Then the most important question before you start the business is like what valuable company you want to make, or what you think is valuable for the world and nobody is making that. So for that you need to make a few list of things what you think the world should have, and there is no product like that. It should not be like a repetition of the same things, but it should not be an incremental development on the existing product. It should be very new, otherwise like it will be very difficult to sustain. Two ways companies can be started and make profit. One way is getting the improvement of the product that others have made, and that is called globalization. But if you want to make something genuinely new and it is completely new to the system, it is basically making one out of zero. So that is the actual innovation, and that has the potential to change the world to a better place. And this book, specifically this 0 to 1, talks about that point only, like how you can create something out of nothing, basically. Not nothing, but you have knowledge, but you innovate something for a better future. And if you think about like the things that happened during the internet, when internet came, the everybody must have heard the dot-com bubble. Everyone was crazy and investing, and if you look at the investment went in that time is way more than the previous years. And that even after 10, 15 years also, that much investment has not come to the market if you look at the US investment. So that shows that the investments are not really like an indicator of 0 to 1. It is like something new come up, everyone jump into that to put money and to make more money. But that is not always very profitable. From the dot-com bubble, we all learned like just make incremental advances. Like internet was completely 0 to 1, like nothing was like that before, and everyone jumped into that for investing. And the other point we learned is like stay flexible and stay small. But that time the companies got huge investment, they expanded like anything without realizing this could be a bubble actually. And also they learned that improve on the competition, like, and focus on the product basically. But if we look at now, after like 20 years or so, so the scenario is completely different. If we look at today's business, there are few things which are very clear, like better to risk boldness than triviality, and a bad plan is actually better than no plan. And the other thing is monopoly without competition. So create something that will like monopolize the market, and like Google basically. Or then the sales is as important as the product, because nowadays only product isn't too much. Although product is important, but marketing and sales is as important as the product in today's business. And the point is like the monopoly. So when we say about monopoly and we talk about competition, so any company you see, any product you see in the market, they have another replica. Yeah. But that is basically competition, and they compete with each other, making less profit for everyone. So if you understand like how monopoly and competition work, there are various examples. One is like Google. So monopoly happens when the company focuses on union of various large markets and capture them, like search engine, phone, computer, online advertising. So these are large markets. So Google can always say, I'm a small fish in a big pond. But actually, it is acquiring small portions in big markets, in various big markets. It's not in only one market. And the same thing when it comes to competition, you imagine like having a restaurant, like you say, okay, I will have a Korean food restaurant in Bhubaneswar. It's unique, nobody has made that. But the market itself is small, and you say you are bringing some innovativeness to it. So it will not work, because there will be a perfect competition by another person setting up another Japanese restaurant, Chinese restaurant. So the market is limited. So it has to be a global market, and you can be a small player, but the market has to be very large. Otherwise, like, it will be a competition and it will be difficult to survive. So monopoly basically starts with something by creating a product or some technology that is a proprietary technology or secret that is only known to you. And also the product should have a very good economics of sale. That means like you calculate everything from product development to marketing, sales and everything, and after that you should be making profit. And the other point to consider is it should be a small business, because big businesses are very difficult to change the SOP. But if the group size is small, the team is small, it's very easy to make a decision and change the course. If something doesn't work, you make another product and move ahead. But if the company is big, there are big investment, there are a lot of investors involved, you have a big director board, so it's not easy to change any decision overnight. So that's why like keeping it small makes it easier to move the company the way it can make a bigger impact. And the most important thing is branding and network. Brand value is very important in terms of, even if you have a proprietary technology and very good product, if people don't believe in the brand, it will not work. And same with it happens with many Indian companies. But the brand will be created by the trust, and if the business is there for years in the market, and the credibility of the director board as well as the founders, because people believe in people, not on the product. Actually, it should be the person whom people can trust. So if you want to start a business, like, and for my case, suppose I'm working in a government sector and I have a government job. So there are policies by government of India that allows people in job to start a business, and the startup innovation policy by government of India, they suggest like people can take 20% of their time to make a spin-off, and in return the institute or the organization can uh, take like up to 9.5% of the equity from the organization, from the company. And also if they are taking a patent or a product from the organization, so the institute and the startup can negotiate to have how much royalty they want to pay. There are multiple options: either you give equity, you give a upfront charge to the organization, or you have MOU to pay the royalty, like some percentage of the profit or some percentage of the revenue made from the product you have taken from the organization. So it depends between the founder and the parent organization from where the technology or the products are taken for product development and developing the startup. So to start a startup, basically what you need, like there are three types of companies basically. So one is proprietorship, and one is LLC, limited liability company, uh, and the other one is the private limited. So the private limited is the most adapted one, where you can get the investment because it's open to public. But if it is a proprietorship or LLC, it is basically owned by you. So in that case, like everything is linked to your income and your personal properties. But private limited is a separate entity. It is a corporation where you are part of it. So your personal things are not like linked to it. So it's a different entity and you are operating. And if we look at like who owns the private limited company in terms of ownership, the founder, basically founder, or the investors or the stakeholders who gave money to start the company or running the company, because of whom like the funds are coming. So those are the owners, and the control of the company is mostly with the founder, or the board of directors, which are mostly the founders who came together to start the company. And when we talk about the possession, who operates the company, it is basically the employees and the CEO. The CEO can be an appointed person, it may not be the founder, but a person with a vision to take the company forward. So CEO and the employees enjoy the day-to-day operation and possess the company. So people outside of the company know them as they are the people from the company, whereas the board of the directors or the founders, they always remain in the background. Many of them are not public, but if it is a startup, founders are always the board of directors, so they are known to the public. And for a startup, the founders are also the investors and the shareholders. But in a big company, these roles diversify and they are separate people. But for a startup, the CEO should be like one of the founders and the one of the board of directors. And all the founders might have put their own money to bootstrap and start the business. So they are basically the shareholders and the owner of the company. So for starting a startup, you should start if most of the questions are yes for you. Like you have a breakthrough technology, or you have a big share of a small market, or small share of a big market. And you should think long term, like after 10, 20 years, people should be needing your product. And time and the right team. These two are very important because timing, if you don't release it at the perfect time, there will be another person who have the product and they will take the market. And the technology, like the breakthrough technology, I said, like it may not be a patent, maybe a know-how, or it should be a secret. Like nobody should know that, like what you are making and how you are making. And the other point at this moment you should consider it like social entrepreneurship. People should create a buzz about the startup and they should believe in your vision. If they don't believe, there is no future. So people should be believing and they should be realizing that this product will make a better life for them. And also you should consider if the startups fail, like most of the time it will fail because of many reasons, competition, work, your cash flow, and there are tons of other reasons. And there are a good number of startups with very good idea, very good business that have failed, and about 90% will fail. But the point to be considered here is, are you going to have another idea to start a startup, or you have the option to have another job if the startup fails? So if you consider all these points, and if the most of the points you have the answer yes, then it's a good idea to start. And if half of the questions you have the answer as no, then there is no point in starting a new startup or business. One interesting thing talked about the founders of the business in this book is they are not very normal people. If we look at like what is normal in the world, the founders are always kind of abnormal. It will not be like they're the typical human being in terms of the societal norms. Like our, even if you look at money, the founders could be millionaire, billionaire, crorepati on paper, but on the reality, on their account, they may be having few thousand. Okay. So, but that doesn't happen in case of a normal person. So, normal person either they can be rich or poor, but for a startup founder, he can be rich on paper and he can be poor in real terms of having the money. Thank you for your time, and hope this will help you in deciding whether to start a business or not. And don't take this video as a summary of the book I showed in the beginning. I just touched few points, and it is not a book summary. It is just points how you can start your business. And I also urge you to read the book. There are many other books that help people to start business, or on the way also, like they will help the business founders to change and do some course corrections and have a better business. So these kind of books are helpful to read. Thank you.